Well, Sony has recently announced that they're killing the physical game for PlayStation, and a lot of people, including myself, aren't happy about it. But Verilon, you're a PC gamer. Why do you care if PlayStation goes digital only? Well, take a seat. I'll gladly lay it out for you.
Buckle up, buckaroo!
To start, if I could buy a physical PC, I would. I display what few physical PC games I've been able to find on my shelf next to my console games, and I love to look at them. I even went out of my way when I purchased my first gaming laptop to make sure it had a DVD drive. Not all of them did. I had to look. But the reasons I'm more comfortable buying digital for PC are the following. First of all, there's a ton of DRM free options even on Steam if you want to play on PC and own what you buy. And there's even more if you go the emulation route. Games having DRM is a choice by the developers. Is it gonna affect what games are available if you're a hardliner on it? Absolutely. But for those this is important to, there is an option, which you will now not have on console. Secondly, there's just never going to be a PC2. I can replace parts in my desktop and still play my games indefinitely. Consoles, unlike PC, will have obsolete hardware because companies like Sony will just stop making PlayStation 5s when they make PlayStation 6. If you have your discs, your PlayStation 5 dying just means you've got to find another one. But you can still play your games. With digital only, your PlayStation dies, your collection is gone too. Third, if crap were to hit the fan and Steam were to go under for whatever reason, I could either switch to a new platform like GOG or acquire the games I used to have online because there are backups. Although this would be provided Valve never gave us a way to access them after closing the store. Windows as a platform just makes preserving games a lot easier than a console because it's a lot more open as a platform. To cite a personal example of how open Windows is to any console players who just may not be able to comprehend it, there's an app called OpenMW that allows you to play your legally acquired copy of Elder Scrolls Morrowind on Android. Like it's a mobile game. I personally tried it with my Steam copy on my Samsung Z Fold 5 and it was a lot of fun. It was really neat. There's also been a lot more innovation in playing PC games on Android ARM systems as well, but that's just a example I played around with personally. As someone who has a powerful PC and one that's more powerful than the PlayStation 5, the appeal to console is being able to add more cases to the shelf. I love being able to walk into my home and see the collection that I've spent decades building. I've also gone out of my way in the past to spend more to buy a physical copy of a game I like, even when these copies costed twice what I would have paid for a digital one. And it actually makes me really sad to know that when my husband and I have kids, they're not going to know how exciting it can be to pick up your game at midnight from GameStop or to get a video game shaped present under the tree and wonder what it is. Without the physical games, PlayStation just becomes a crappier, less secure PC, and it loses what makes it special. I don't want or need that, especially with what the PlayStation 6 is rumored to cost when it comes out. Next, it makes preservation harder. Unlike Xbox games, PlayStation games aren't coming to PC anymore, and that means it's going to become way harder to play them when the hardware is gone. What happens if somebody being born this year decides, I really liked Ghost of Tsushima and Ghost of Yotei, and I would like to play the next installment on PlayStation 6. They can't make an account and buy it. Their only hope is that 1. The PlayStation 6 has been jailbroken, 2. The game files are backed up online, and 3. There's a functioning emulator for it for PC. And while the functioning emulator would still be necessary even with the disc, we would still have a bunch of copies of the software laying around for when it does, and we wouldn't have to rely on the programmer having an unbanned PlayStation 6 to make the copies. Lastly, it takes away choice in a time where things are already hard for a lot of us. There's still a ton of other forms of media that have become niche due to becoming obsolete that still exist today. You can buy a record player and get vinyls of a lot of new albums. You can buy a DVD or a Blu-ray instead of streaming the movie or buying a digital license that Sony will just take from you later. You can buy a Polaroid camera. I get that while physical only people like myself are a minority, that doesn't mean that PlayStation couldn't come out like, hey guys, we're still gonna do physical, but you'll have to pay a bit more because we don't want to eat the costs that come with putting it on a disc and shipping it anymore. It would have sucked, but it wouldn't have been the end of the world. To conclude, if Sony doesn't change course, then the PlayStation 5 is the last PlayStation console I'll ever buy. The death of the physical game takes away what makes it special and appealing for me, and it isn't worth eating the cost for it anymore. Thanks for those of you who made it to the end of the video. If you have any thoughts you wanted to add, if you disagree with me for whatever reason, please say so in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching. Have a good night.